Hi, welcome back. This is gonna be your classic Monday to Friday, what I eat, what I cook in a week. I hope you enjoy. Let's just get right into it. Monday morning, I started things off with a simple breakfast bowl consisting of plain soy yogurt, this chocolate cookie protein powder, and oats. I mixed that up and then added a handful of raspberries on top, plus some of this almond coconut date butter. It tastes so sweet and rich. I love it. I then went out for a quick coffee. We met up at this trendy bakery called Albatros. I had a slice of banana bread there. My friend got the croissant, which isn't vegan, but it looked amazing. I snacked on these peanut butter granola bites that I found in my tote bag. I also bought some sourdough bread at this bakery, which I had some of for lunch. I was craving gazpacho for some reason. I don't remember ever having made gazpacho myself, but it's really easy. First, you wash and then roughly chop a bunch of vegetables. I went for tomatoes, cucumber, and bell pepper. I transferred all of this to my small blender, or as many of the vegetables fit at least. I also added a clove of garlic, a bit of olive oil, some white wine vinegar, salt, pepper, some fresh cilantro. Now after my first quick blend, I added some ice cubes because I wanted to eat the soup right away, and it's only good cold, really. Taste test, adjust with some more salt and or vinegar if needed, and yeah, that's pretty much it. It's basically a savory smoothie if you think about it. For dinner, I had the remaining soup. I also added some more beans and some more cilantro and had a bit more of that bread on the side. It might not come across in that video, but it was a pretty bad day for me. And so in order to self-soothe, I read some fan fiction and treated myself to some vegan vanilla ice cream, which helped a little bit for sure. Another thing that I find super soothing is cooking. Who would have thought? But yeah, that Tuesday morning, I took a bit of time to make a savory breakfast and at the same time meal prep my lunch as well. Bring a skillet with a bit of oil to medium heat. In the meantime, cut up an onion. I'm also making some coffee in the background there. My coffee machine completely broke down recently, so I've been going back to basics, aka filter coffee. Anyway, I'm letting the onion saute for about 5 minutes. Meanwhile, I cut up some tomatoes. Those were left over from the previous day. Adding those to the onion, and then I brought everything up to medium-high and let this cook for about 3 more minutes. Then I added tomato paste and miso paste and water. I mixed everything thoroughly and then added a can of white beans. Last but not least, I poured in a bit of coconut milk plus some in water dissolved cornstarch. I'm giving this another 2 to 3 more minutes of simmering. I'm adding a bit more salt and a bit more vinegar and some more cilantro, of course. Yeah, I had about half of this for breakfast, and then lunch was the beans over some cooked rice, which was super satisfying as well. Since I ate 2 savory meals that day, the third one needed to be sweet. So this is kind of like a breakfast for dinner type situation where I blended up some not so frozen banana, some ice cubes, coconut milk, oats, a pinch of salt, and some water. Then I had this together with a bit of granola for some extra crunch, plus a bit more of that almond coconut butter. Me and my friend Ima, we've been trying to motivate each other to do more things that are a bit more out of our comfort zone, like go to events regularly, meet new people, leave the house in general. So that night we went to a drink and draw evening where you draw other people who volunteer to pose in front of everybody for a few minutes. I had not picked up a pencil in years, and so I felt a bit intimidated at first, being sat next to all these very talented people. But then once I told myself, no one's really looking at what I'm drawing anyway, it actually became super fun. On to Wednesday. I made some really yummy porridge that morning. I'm still making my way through this can of coconut milk, by the way. Coconut milk is the number one item I tend to forget is in my fridge, but not this week. I was determined to finish this, and it worked super well in oatmeal. I topped this off with frozen cherries and some of this vegan caramel chocolate, which melts really nicely into the porridge, kind of sweetens everything at the same time. I mean, this was basically dessert. You might know Charlie. If not, I will link her channel down below. We went to this vegan cafe called Sfera, both got some coffee there and these little brioche toasts. Alright, for dinner, I put together a sheet of roasted veggies. I let this roast at 200 degrees Celsius for 25 to 30 minutes. In the meantime, I made a quick soy sauce consisting of, soy sauce, sesame oil, hoisin sauce, sriracha, vinegar, and agave syrup. I also used this time to cook some rice noodles according to the packaging. Yeah, and then I kind of tried to bring all these things together somewhat. I had been meaning to add edamame as well, but I forgot. I really rediscovered cold brew for myself, which is partially, again, due to the fact that my coffee machine is broken. Big update on the mental health. I think I finally found the perfect method for me to fall asleep fast and easily without having to take any pills or any melatonin or any of that. Although no, I still do take a bit of magnesium actually. Yeah, magnesium I still do take. But I'm off all the other stuff and I've managed to get the falling asleep duration down to 5 to 30 minutes. It usually takes me 1 to 2 hours to fall asleep, sometimes more. It all started out with me just being bored at night, laying in bed with my headphones on, in the dark, and just listening to music before going to sleep. That was already great, but what has helped even more is switching from, listening to the Challenger soundtrack before bed to actual guided nighttime meditations.
Just take a moment just to notice how the body is breathing as you lie there.
Today's sponsor is Headspace. Shout out to them. I first started using Headspace when I was 17. I went through a pretty intense meditation phase back then. I have since fallen off, but now I'm happy to be back. Headspace is meditation made simple. It's like an everyday mental health guide to make you feel more calm, more peaceful throughout the day. Aside from regular meditations, Headspace also offers a bunch of other mindfulness content, breathing and falling asleep exercises, mindful guided walk and run audios. There really isn't a right or wrong way to practice meditation. Like I said, for me, it's usually I am in bed, laying down in the dark. Not only can I fall asleep faster, but I definitely feel that my sleep quality has improved immensely. And whilst falling asleep, I'm a lot less likely to spiral about life. If you want to see how Headspace might be useful to you, sign up using the link down below. Headspace's free trial is normally 7 days, but with this link, you will get 60 days for free. But yeah, try it out. Let me know what you think. So my main breakfast that day was some crispy pan-fried tofu, where I, just combine pieces of tofu with cornstarch and some sort of seasoning. Then I pan-fry everything over medium to medium-high in a bit of oil for about 8 minutes until golden brown. I also added the leftover veggies from the night before here. and served everything next to some crispy bread with vegan butter and yet another little coffee. Later on, I made this giant bowl of salad. This was tomato, cucumber, kidney beans, and toasted bread chunks. As for the dressing, I decided to go for olive oil, white wine vinegar, agave syrup, and miso paste. I tried mixing this with a whisk, but what worked out a lot better was adding a lid and shaking it like crazy. Dinner was very random. I was in a rush, I had places to be, and so I opted for a bowl of muesli. I had a friend come over, and the two of us went to meet another friend at a wine bar, which I don't think I'd ever been to a wine bar before. Then we went to this club event where they played Lana Del Rey music, no remixes, just her songs. It was beautiful. On Friday, my mom came to visit and I made us these super fluffy oat double chocolate mug cakes. I was just recipe testing. I did not expect these to turn out this well. First, grab 2 oven-proof mugs or ramekins and grease them with a bit of oil. Also make sure to preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius. To my small blender, I added all the cake batter ingredients except for the chocolate chips. So oats, oat milk, baking powder, salt, unsweetened cacao powder. I also added some of these caramel sweetening drops. You could do vanilla instead. Sunflower seed oil, agave syrup, vinegar, and then, so I forgot one ingredient, which was a few tablespoons of the canned coconut milk. Then divide the mixture evenly between the 2 containers. You want to fill these up about 3/4 of the way. They won't rise all that much. Last but not least, add some chocolate chips if you wish, or nuts or pieces of fruit. Bake these for about 25 minutes. The cake batter itself tastes super yummy, so as this was baking, I was just snacking on that. Also putting together another coffee drink. And I also added in a few of these caramel drops. A little goes a long way with these because they do kind of taste a lot like stevia to me. Allow the cakes to cool at least a little bit before serving. I also had some berries on the side. Highly, highly recommend. Those are some of the yummiest grapes I've ever had, I think. Anyway, moving on to lunch, I made these wraps. First, I am once again preparing crispy tofu chunks, but I added not only cornstarch to the tofu, but also some panko breadcrumbs and a bit of salt, of course. Gave this a good mix. And then I let this fry over medium, mixing frequently until nice and golden brown. The wrap went as follows. To the warm tortilla, I added some tahini dip, baby spinach, some of these vegan roast beef slices I saw at the grocery store, avocado, sriracha, and that's it. I ended up also toasting the wraps for a few minutes on each side before serving, and I also had the remaining tofu chunks with a bit more tahini dip and sriracha. For dinner, my mom did the cooking. She pan-fried or sautéed a bunch of vegetables, zucchini, carrot, aubergine, and onion. She let everything cook for quite a while. At one point, she added white wine and soy sauce and spinach. She also probably did some other things that I did not see, but whatever she did, it was really yummy. We had this on top of some rice with lots of cilantro as well. There you go. Thank you so much for spending some time with me here. Click like if you have a second. And thanks again to Headspace for sponsoring. Yeah, check them out. Goodbye.